So it is Tuesday, August 17th at 6:30 in the PM. Finished up for the day, drinking my Coors Light. We have been somewhat busy. It's been raining. I mean raining for the last several days. Which is, I suppose something that everybody needs to take into account, especially if they're doing this on their own or having a contractor do it. Some things cannot be avoided, and one of those things is bad weather. So we're just sort of taking our time dealing with the weather as we can. There's plenty to do around here, but we did get all of our cord bracing on. You can see these small, they're 1 by 1 by 2 foot long angles. We did those on the columns. And now it was required to do those on all of the trusses, both sides. So I've got them on the right side, the left side. There's 4 going up each truss row. Those are braced to our purlins. And those come down, those are temporary, as well as the ones that go up the columns. They are to support these purlins. These purlins are basically 2 by 6s. They're metal studs, so they're 1 5/8 by 5 5/8. But they're to brace those purlins as we run sheet metal on it, just to keep them secure. Once the sheet metal's on the roof, those can come down. So we got all of those done. I think there's 64 or so of them. We also got our wind rod bracing in. Those aren't tight yet. I'm not ready to square the building, do the final square on it. That helps square the building. That stays. That's something that I did not catch when we purchased this building. Those wind rods stay, and they run below the purlins. Our intention is to put foam insulation up there, and then just run our sheet good, which in this case is going to be drywall and shiplap. We were going to sheet right to those purlins. In this bay, however, as you can see, there's going to be that wind rod bracing. I didn't catch the fact that that was going to be there and remain initially, which is my bad, completely my bad. So I have the option of framing those purlins down and covering that wind rod bracing. It ends up being, let me see, it ends up being, it's probably about 2 inches, 2.5 inches below the purlin. So I'd have to frame that down 2 inches. These web trusses are going to be wrapped in a rough sawn lumber. I could frame that purlin down, that 2 inches, and just do that bay and not frame all this other stuff down. I think you'd have to be looking for it to see it in a finished product by the time it was all said and done. I don't think it would be that unsightly. I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I've talked to my wife, and we think I might just paint those in. We'll see. We'll see as we get a little bit closer. We are, watching our pennies here, watching our budget. So I got all that bracing in. I also got the eave extensions on. So you can see I've got a 1 foot overhang on all of this building. So these eave extensions bolt on to the web truss. There's 10 of them, as are their columns. I put one on each of the columns, of course. Our fascia attaches to that, which will give me a 1 foot overhang, and it'll match the overhang on the side. It's hard to see in this video, but that overhang is actually hanging out 16 5/8 because of this kickback here. Because of the kickback, to get my my wall correct coming down this side of the concrete, or that side of the slab. So I got those eave extensions on, and then I'm really trying to do this per the manual. As I've stated, I haven't put one of these buildings up before. However, the manual tells me to run at least the track for the fascia. So what goes on up on that fascia is there's a 2x6, for lack of a better term. There's a 2x6 piece of track of steel track that goes up that fascia line, and then the actual siding fascia gets attached to that. I decided against that. I don't have this building quite squared in yet, and I want the building to be square before I run that fascia. I'm really, you know, sort of take pride in a nice straight fascia. I don't want any conflict between squaring that building and having that fascia. Now, I could be wrong on that. I could be doing that wrong. So if there's anybody out there that has a suggestion on that for future use, I'd appreciate it. So instead of putting that fascia on, which I'll get to tomorrow, I went ahead and started my end walls. I've got an end wall column standing here now. I got to that at the end of today. I've got another end wall column going here. That's a 12-foot span. No, I'm sorry, that's a 14-foot span. Then there's a 12-foot span from column to column, and then another 14, giving me my 40 across. So I got that one set today. I'll set the other one tomorrow, and then I'll come across to this side. It's the same thing going on over here. However, these end wall columns are in two pieces because, of course, I've got a mezzanine going across here. So that first column, the mezzanine beam will go in, and then a column will go up to it as support, and a column will go up to it, and then there's a column that stands on top of that beam and goes up to the truss, and goes up to the truss. And then I have these, they're hard to see there, but right there, there's a mezzanine hanger. Again, we opted for a clear span down below, and we've got some bracing that goes from that tie down to our column beam, from that tie down to our mezzanine beam, though, I'm sorry, that supports it, hangs it from the top. Those have been designed to have walls. They'll be hidden in walls. And we just thought that was a better option for us, which gives us a complete free, we don't have to worry about any bracing or columns or support down below our mezzanine, which is basically our bedroom, the mud room, and a laundry room. So we've, in spite of the rain, we've gotten some stuff done. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It has been nice. We got out of those high temperatures with this rain, or with this front that came through and is still working its way through. So the temperature today was, I think it was 78 degrees, and it was cloudy, 76 degrees and cloudy, as opposed to a few days ago when it was 103 degrees, 105 degrees. So it's really been nice working in that weather as opposed to that hot weather. So we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep standing structure, and we're gonna keep safe.